From KATU News, this is breaking news.
How long have you lived here?
About 30, 35. Yeah, long enough just to get the places paid off.
Breaking news now at 5 o'clock. A wildfire emergency in the gorge. Tonight, the Rowena Fire continues to rage out of control, leaving burned out cars and homes in its wake. Now, we knew we were in for a tough fire season this year, but tonight, fire officials say the time to prepare is over. Wildfire season has arrived, and it's only June. Good evening. Thanks for being with us, everybody. I'm Steve Dunn.
I'm Deborah Knapp. We're actually watching a few fires tonight. Look at your screen. Two fires are burning across the Columbia River on the Washington side and another fire east of the Dalles. We'll talk about those in a few minutes. We want to begin with the Rowena Fire burning between Mosier and the Dalles. At this hour, the flames have scorched 3,500 acres with no containment in sight. 20 homes have been destroyed. More than 2,100 more are threatened, prompting evacuation orders. Oregon Governor Tina Kotek has invoked the Emergency Conflagration Act, the first of the 2025 season. It allows the Oregon State Fire Marshal to mobilize resources. FEMA has also authorized funds to fight the fire. KATU's on your side with team coverage tonight. Meteorologist Dave Selesky standing by with a look at fire conditions in the gorge and what our firefighters are up against. KATU's Shelby Slaughter has been talking to evacuees, including one man who lost something money cannot buy.
We begin, though, with KATU's Christina Giardinelli, who's tracking the damage from the flames so far. She's live off Highway 30 for us tonight. And Christina, that's part of the evacuation zone, right?
Yeah, I'm standing right now in a level 3 evacuation zone. The start of this zone is just a little bit further down the street this way. It's where Highway I-84 meets Highway 30. Now, officials tell us this is where the fire first started. I want to show you over here on my left, this hillside. You can still see billowing smoke, smoldering ash. I can smell that ash. It is landing on me a little bit here as well. So this is still a very active fire area, as you can see, but officials also telling us these winds, and I'm feeling these strong winds that are very common here in this gorge area. They're moving south. That's where most of the fire activity is taking place right now. But over here on my right, I want to show you, this is what some of the homes look like, the smoldering ash and the rubble that was left in the wake of those flames. Many other homes here along Highway 30 look just like this, and while some lost their homes, others like Jack Garvin will return to 4 walls and a roof when evacuation orders lift. He says his thoughts today, though, are with his neighbors who lost everything.
Both of my neighbors on my east and west, their homes are gone. And, those are, people that I care about.
What would you say to them right now? I mean, imagine some of them will watch this.
It'll rebuild. It just reminds me of so many other communities, in the West, that have gone through this. And, it's, the community comes together.
Garvin says he has been on vacation, but he's cutting it short now to come back and help his neighbors start to rebuild. He says a friend living on his property kept a hose running on his home until the power went out and the water pump stopped working. Garvin credits his friend with saving his home. Now we'll be on your side tracking where those live flames are and bringing you the latest information. For now, live in Rowena, Christina Giardinelli, KATU News.
Christina, thank you. Now, we want to take a look at the map of the impacted area right now. Evacuation orders are in place as far east as Memlou State Park and as far west as the Dalles. The area in red is under a level 3 go now evacuation order, which means get out immediately. The yellow space is under a level 2 be set evacuation order, meaning be ready to go at a moment's notice. And the green area is under a level 1 be ready order. So that means be ready for potential evacuation. There are 2 evacuation centers open tonight. A Red Cross shelter is operating at the Dalles Middle School. That's on 12th Street in the Dalles. The Wasco County Fairgrounds is also open in Tye Valley, heading south down Highway 197. This is open for livestock, horses, and people with trailers as well. And continuing our team coverage now with KATU's Shelby Slaughter, who's live in Rowena off of I-84. So, Shelby, dozens of people have already gotten help from the Red Cross since the fire started.
Exactly, and I'm here in one of those neighborhoods. You can see just how devastating this fire's path has been, even debris that's been left behind from its path. We also have some burned cars over here from a property that we're at. I spoke with one man who tells me he's lost everything.
Hey Todd, let me call you right back. It's all gone.
For just the short time I spent with Donald Armstrong, his phone was ringing off the hook.
Hi, sweetie. I had to give him an hour. I'm at the Red Cross to see what they can't do for us.
His home burned to the ground with nothing left but the clothes on his back.
We drove down the road and there was another little fire by the train tracks, another little fire by the train tracks, another little fire by the train tracks. There was 5 of them.
Armstrong tells me that's all it took for the wind to take that fire up to his house before he even had a chance to save anything from it.
Bad. So I figured I'd go back to the house and get the stuff out of the house after I dropped her off at the doctor's. Well, we didn't make it back to the house.
Thankfully, Armstrong's dog and fiance were with him. He tells me that's enough.
For some reason, I took the little dog too this time. And so everybody and everything's safe.
But still, he says there's one thing he'll mourn for some time. A boat he helped rebuild and holds many memories of fishing trips with friends and family.
My pride and joy. Yep, gone. Built it. Yep.
Just like that.
It was fast. I mean, fast. It all happened within.
It's just so devastating, and I do want to make a note here about the wind. It is just whipping past. My photographer Felicia and I even went to go put on sunglasses because there's so much debris flying at our faces, and that's why it's been so hard for these firefighters to fight this fire. We did try to go up to another neighborhood, and officials tell me that they're only letting people through in emergencies to get things like medication. Reporting live in Rowena, I'm Shelby Slaughter, KATU News.
So Shelby, before you go, has the Red Cross given you any numbers on how many people are looking for help?
Yeah, we were there a little bit ago, and there were about 5 or so people there around noon, but I'm told that's pretty common because a lot of people will go spend the day with their family. But overnight, I'm told about 45 people spent the night, and that includes pets like cats, dogs, and even a turtle.
Shelby Slaughter, thank you. Well, a lot of people who have evacuated are understandably on edge tonight, worried about their homes and whether they're still standing.
Now, the Wasco County Sheriff's Office is asking everyone to respect those evacuation zones. In fact, in a post on Facebook, they say they've gotten reports people are stopping on I-84 and other unsafe areas to walk into level 3 go now evacuation zones. They say for the safety of the public and first responders, stay out of evacuation zones, and quote, it is extremely dangerous and may impact resources working to save property in that area. That includes rock slides and falling trees.
We want to turn now to meteorologist Dave Selesky, who is tracking the conditions right now. Dave?
It's all about the winds. You saw the live shots from Shelby. You saw the live shot, of course, from Christina. Wind is still blowing in the gorge, just as strong, maybe a little stronger than it was just 24 hours ago. We'll show you the current conditions out there right now. At a live camera, of course, up on top of Stacker Butte, there's that smoke plume. Let's bring in the current conditions there. So it's 78 degrees right now. They're seeing sustained wind speeds now at 26 miles an hour, with gusts at the top of the hour to 37 miles an hour in and around the Dalles area. So again, until these winds let up, firefighters are going to have their hands full getting a grip on this fire. And again, now the winds will taper off later on tonight, as they did this morning. They'll drop off late tonight, likely around 11 o'clock, maybe midnight, dropping down into the single digits. But then again, tomorrow on Friday, with some afternoon heating, you're going to see those winds begin to pick right back up into the afternoon, with seeing peak wind gusts upwards of close to 30 miles an hour again tomorrow on Friday, then tapering off again going into early on Saturday morning. Now, the smoke from that wildfire again being pushed all the way up the gorge, off into the Columbia Basin, getting as far east as up into the Pendleton area. That's going to continue. But surprisingly, air quality in the Dalles is still reported as good at this hour, partly because that wind is moving all that smoke downstream. So fire danger remains high in that area because of the strong gusty gorge winds. Peak gusts between 30 to 40 miles an hour today. Warm temperatures, low humidity, not good for fire conditions, and I don't see any major change taking place over the next 36 to 48 hours. Well, we'll forecast locally in about 10 minutes. Back over to you guys.
We'll see you in 10, Dave. Thanks. Now, turning now to Two wildfires burning across the Columbia River on the Washington side of the gorge near Carson. Tonight, crews say forward progression of both the Grant Lake and Sand Hill Hot Springs fires have been stopped. They're still working on mopping up there. They're asking you to avoid that area and warn you may see areas of smoke within containment lines. Some areas remain under level 1 evacuation orders. Be ready there.
And as we continue to track the situation in the gorge, we're also watching a wildfire burning on the other side of the Dalles. The Ferry Fire was discovered yesterday. It's already burned 5,000 acres. This one is near the Gilliam-Sherman County line. Fire officials have evacuated Cottonwood State Park. It's now closed to the public. No word on what caused the fire, but we will keep tracking this for you.
And stay with KATU News for continuing coverage as we track the Rowena Fire, evacuations, and other need-to-know information. When we're not on the air, you can always find the latest updates on our website, KATU.com. When it's safe to do so, be sure to send us photos and videos of what's happening in your area via the Chime In tab.